Hi everyone, welcome back to Keeping Up with the Chaldeans. I'm Anthony Toma. Junior Binno is not here today. He's had another obligation. We're here with MaryAnn Joseph. She is the owner of Timeless Memories by MJ. Thanks for coming on the show.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you have some beautiful pieces here. Why don't you kick off the show and start off by just telling us, how you got started in doing these beautiful things.
So, I've always had a creative bug, as I was telling you earlier.
Yep.
And I didn't know how to, bring that out because I work at a law firm. Uh-huh. That's my primary job.
Okay.
I've been there since I was 14, so I've been there for like 26 years.
At the law firm?
Yep.
Jeez. Do you want to plug the firm?
Sure. Finling Law. He's the divorce guy, unfortunately. Okay. But, so I've been working there and I didn't know exactly what I needed to do to, bring that creative bug out of me. Mm-hmm. A friend of mine started this business and it just wasn't for her.
Okay.
So I said, you know what? I kind of need a supplemental income because I really wanted to put my kids in Catholic schools. Yeah. That was really important to me. So awesome. I decided to try my hand at it.
Okay.
So I knew people in the wedding industry. I knew a few people in the wedding industry. Mm-hmm. Got some flowers, just tried my hand at it, and I was successful. Okay. So then when I finally built up the guts to take somebody's wedding bouquet, because there's no turning back. Right. It's one shot. You have one shot, or else you're going to ruin this person's memory forever. So I tried my hand at it, and when it worked, I was like, all right, I'm going to start a business.
All right, cool. Yeah. So what do people generally do with a wedding bouquet if they don't get it preserved by MaryAnn?
They throw it in the garbage.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, and it's sad because, especially in our culture, people spend so much money on flowers. Right. So much money on weddings. And that's why I'm like, what better way to preserve a memory from your wedding? Yes, you're going to have photos. Yes, you're going to have a videographer there. Yes, you're going to have little pieces, your wedding dress or something like that. But to show your child something that you walk down the aisle with to marry, his or her father, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful memory to have.
For sure. And do people still throw the bouquet over the shoulder?
So I say don't toss your bouquet.
Okay, right.
Preserve it.
Yeah.
But generally they don't. They have actually the florist make a toss bouquet. Okay. Or they'll toss like the bridesmaid's bouquet. Okay. So if they still want to do that tradition, I tell them just throw a bridesmaid's bouquet or have your florist make a little bundle of flowers that you can toss so that they don't toss the actual.
Because these girls will be fighting over that and tear it to shreds, right?
Shredded, yeah.
And so we're looking at this now. How old are one of these, or how old can they be?
So these are fairly new because they're still waiting for pickup. Okay. But they will last forever as long as you take care of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The two rules are you don't want any moisture anywhere near them. So I always tell my brides, don't spray anything directly on the glass or on the acrylic. You want to spray your rag.
That'll absorb?
It could get into the seams.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and any bit of moisture can ruin it, and it's not worth the risk.
Right.
And then sunlight.
So you were saying to wet the rag, and I interrupted you.
Yeah, wet the rag and then wipe the glass or the acrylic. The other thing is sunlight. If you put a painting,
it's going to fade.
It's going to fade or it's going to change color. So I always tell the brides, don't put this in direct sunlight. Don't use any kind of cleaner directly on the glass.
These are beautiful.
Thank you.
Really are.
So much.
And you put the candles in there, or they had the candles in the rosary, or do they give you these pieces also?
So my thing is I take your bouquet. So here's the process.
Okay, yeah.
Once they book me, they're in my books. They pay a deposit, and then their balance is due 2 weeks before their wedding. Okay. On the day of their wedding, as long as the wedding is local, I will go to the venue and pick up their bouquet. And with Chaldeans, it's usually right after the Zephyr. Yeah. With Americans and other cultures, I ask them, because some people use their bouquets as like centerpieces on like the head table. So I'll ask them, when do you want me to come pick it up? Gotcha. So it usually gets picked up the night of. I preserve it that night. Anything that they want to add, I add for no charge. So,
okay.
Yeah, for example, that one has an invitation. Yep. It has the klila, a rosary, the candles, the pin. I can't see if anything's in the upper left corner, but anything they want to add, I'm happy to do it. If they provide it, I'm happy to do it. If they want me to embellish it, I still don't even charge unless it's something extravagant that I have to go out and purchase.
Okay.
Most people like to keep it simple with just the bouquet. Some people like to add everything in there. You know, some people put their champagne flutes, their cake, knife, and server set, things like that.
Gotcha.
So after it's, you know, usually after their wedding, I check in with them right before I'm about to start working on it. So the process of preserving the bouquet is I physically take the entire thing apart. So
what do you mean?
So the bouquet is bound with tape and ribbon.
Yeah.
When I get it, I completely unwind it,
and
every single rosebud or flower bud is cut off. I preserve every individual flower separately. So like this is a peony. And so this had a
real
stem.
Flower.
This is a real flower. And you can tell that it's, you know, it's maintained its color, it's maintained its shape.
Yeah.
The only thing it's not alive and you can't smell it. But every single flower is preserved like this. Then when I put it in here, I have to reassemble the bouquet. So everything...
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. And so with this not being my primary job, you know, my turnaround time is right now it's at 6 to 8 months.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of work. And some people say, you know, well, why would I have you preserve it? I've heard of hanging it upside down, or I've heard I can just spray it with hairspray and it works fine.
Sure you can.
Yeah. This is what the difference is. So this is a dried flower.
I gotta get the cleanup crew in here. Yeah. It's chipping away. And
this is what your rose would look like if I preserved it.
What a difference.
Yeah, and you can see how fragile they are too. If like it's so delicate once it's preserved. So you have to really know the person who's doing it. It has a really good reputation. I have a really good Google rating. I have 5 stars. I don't know how many ratings I have. Probably over 30. But it's very important if you're going to have somebody preserve your bouquet. Like I said, there's no turning back. Like once it's ruined, it's ruined.
Right.
So it's somebody who has a good reputation and who puts out good product.
And these boxes are, what do they call these?
Shadow boxes.
Shadow boxes. These shadow boxes are fine. This is fine wood, fine material. Yeah.
Mostly all of these are custom made. Some are, mass manufactured, but most of them are custom made. And one of the things that I'm having a hard time with, even though I feel like my pricing is very reasonable compared to other preservationists in the area, is shipping costs, because most of my boxes come from across the nation.
Okay.
And so shipping is astronomical. And so I can't reduce the cost of that.
Yeah, there's no way to do it. It's built in.
Yeah.
It's a fixed price.
Exactly. So that's why I offer a range of boxes and displays.
Okay.
So I have, like, for example, these ornaments. A lot of people are liking these ornaments because you don't have to use them just at Christmas time. You can have them, hung up on this little stand.
And so what's in there?
So this
flowers from the wedding or flowers from the bouquet?
Flowers from the bouquet.
Okay.
So these make great in-law gifts.
Yeah.
So if you want to give, a piece of your wedding to your in-laws, something for them to cherish, they love that. So they just soak it up.
You trade the husband for the...
Exactly.
For the ornament.
Exactly. Your mother-in-law will love you forever.
Right.
So I have the round one and then the heart-shaped one. And I can always add, names to it and things like that. I do have a gold stand as well. So the ornaments are $45 with a stand. The stand is $15, so it's $60 altogether. I have like a 12 by 12 shadow box. That's like $175.
And what do you put in a 12 by 12?
Usually it's just the flowers because
without
the stems, without anything else. Yeah, because it's so small. Then I have this box that can be used for wedding bouquets as well.
Yeah.
This one is $300 in that style.
That's complete with your time and everything?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. I told you, I'm very reasonable.
Yeah, wow, that is.
Because you know what? When I started this business, I had one goal in mind. My goal was to make enough money to put my kids in Catholic schools.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I've only raised my prices twice, and I've been doing this for 5 years, and it hasn't even been that much. Like it's been very, very, very minimal.
Well, I mean, you're at 300. Where could you have started?
Yeah,
right?
I know. I think I was at 200 for this, honestly.
Okay. Wow.
And then this one is a very popular one because it's, it's traditional.
Yeah.
It's ornate. People really like that style. It comes in different colors. It can do gold, antique gold, silver, antique silver, white, ivory, and that one is 400.
Okay.
The oval styles are, very, very, very traditional and classic. Those are usually 500. And then I have rustic style because everybody loves a rustic with a burlap backing.
Yeah.
Those are 350.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so there's a range. So I guess like if you count that, then we're at $60 all the way to 500. And there's a huge range of what you can.
Oh, that's great.
And if you think about it, with the tens of thousands of dollars that people spend on flowers,
It's a drop in the bucket.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's totally worth
It's
it.
amazing.
Yeah.
And so where do people usually display these in their home? Like where would you keep that?
A lot of people put them like in a dining room or in their bedrooms.
Yeah.
Some people display them in the walk-in closet if it's, large enough or, beautiful enough, I guess.
Right. Yeah,
Their closets.
That'd be cool.
In a hallway. Not so much that one, probably one of these, because that one is like 3-dimensional. It's like a 6-inch bubble.
Yeah,
acrylic.
It's big.
Yeah, so probably not that one in the hallway, but anywhere. And I do have the acrylic stands that actually I had over there, but you can prop this up on a table or on a buffet or, an end table.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So let's talk about those that aren't
Yeah, floral.
floral. Yeah.
So I do preserve other memories. So this one is from a birth.
Yep.
And anything they give me, I put in here and display it for them. This is a birth box. I've done baptism boxes. I've done communion boxes. A lot of them that I'm doing now are memorial boxes. And I did have a few of those, but they were gifts for somebody's loved one who passed. So I did not bring those because I haven't given those yet. But I do also make these floral petal bead rosaries.
Beautiful.
So thank you.
Wow, that looks heavy.
It's significant. But so each one of these beads is handmade, and each one of these beads has flower petals in it. I'll let you see it.
Oh yeah, it's not that heavy, but it's solid.
And then obviously you have a choice of silver or gold, and then this is something smaller.
What do you charge for these?
So those are 100.
Okay.
Because it's a lot of work.
Yeah, see.
And this is a car rosary, and these are 65. Yeah, and these are all, like I said, petals from your event. So there's a lot of people who get them for weddings. That's
You said what? Petals from your event?
Yes. So these petals that are in here are from like somebody's funeral.
In the balls? And the crystals?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I make these beads, and then I had to hire somebody to help me string all of them because it's just, it's tedious and it's a lot of time.
Wow, these are awesome.
Thank you.
And they're timeless memory pieces.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. And so each one of the petal bead rosaries comes with this little card that explains what it is. So it says, someone who loves you wanted you to have a special piece to remember your loved one who has passed on. The beads in this piece contain preserved petals from the flowers at your loved one's memorial. May these beads bring you comfort to know that although your loved one has passed on, they are always near to your heart.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, thanks. So those are some of the other things that I do. So any kind of event, that you want to keep a memory from.
You can create a box for.
Exactly. Some
That's
kind
cool.
of memorial.
And you talked about an 8-month wait.
Yeah.
Like, how backlogged are you?
So right now I'm working on July weddings from last year.
Ooh.
Because, like I said, I have a full-time job. I have a family.
Yeah.
And I can't just come home and work on these things because not only do I have these to work on, but I'm also getting new stuff in.
Right.
And I'm not at the point right now where I can release the control to somebody else and say, preserve this bouquet for me.
Right. Yes.
Or put this back together for me. I can't do that.
Yeah,
right now I can't.
Right.
Like I said, I do have somebody helping me with the rosaries, but I just right now.
So how long would something like that take you to disassemble, reassemble, preserve, and reassemble, and then put in the
So, taking into consideration the drive time,
Yep.
I live near Shenandoah,
Okay.
but I do drive to Palazzo. I do drive to, the Inn at St. John.
Yeah.
So drive time, probably I would say, from drive to disassembling, preserving, and then putting everything back together, it's probably like a 4 to 5 hour process.
Yeah. So yeah.
For
Wow.
one display.
It's a lot.
It is. It's a lot of work, but I love it. I
Yeah.
really do.
Yeah,
I
that's
really,
cool.
really enjoy it.
And
I love
awesome.
the look on people's faces when they
You
see
deliver it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet it's beautiful.
Yeah, I used to do that. I used to deliver it. Now
Okay.
I'm too busy.
Yeah, yeah. So what do you do
I'll
now?
pick it up.
Oh, they come get it?
They come get it from my
Oh,
house. Yeah,
okay, cool.
I'll pick up your bouquet, but I can't deliver it.
Yeah. Well, you still get to see their face, though.
Yeah.
And so what's this? Let's talk about this.
So a couple years ago, I put my name into this, Best of Detroit, and I got,
Winner,
yeah,
chicken dinner.
personalized service for that, and I should be better about, being on social media and promoting my business, through these
We're already
avenues.
too busy anyway.
I'm too busy. Yeah, I need like a manager.
So have you ever considered like leaving your day job for this?
So,
Or is it just
of
too
course, I've
kind of
considered
scary?
it.
Yeah.
It is scary, when you've been somewhere for so long, and
Yep.
I love that part of my life too.
Sure,
I love it a lot.
Yeah.
And I've grown up with these guys that I work with and work for. When you're 14,
Right.
so I've considered it. I don't know if it's a reality for me yet.
Well, I mean, you should probably just do the simple math, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't make sense for me yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so you have all this money left on the table from delivering. Like you could deliver these 20 or 30, 40 pieces that you have in the pipeline, and that's your money.
Charged to deliver, you mean?
Yeah. Well, no, because they didn't already pay you for it, right? They pay you half and then half.
They pay me half, and then the other half is before the wedding.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, great.
Yeah, I mean,
Gotcha.
sometimes I have brides where it's last minute,
Mm-hmm.
and they call me and, I didn't know
Yeah.
to pay. And I'm like, all right, just pay me the
No
50%
problem.
deposit and
Yeah.
then pay me the rest of it.
And it's not even, we're not even talking big numbers, It's not like an $18,000
Right.
hour bill,
Right.
Yeah, so that's, yeah.
Yeah. My husband's always like, just tell them that we'll deliver it. And he doesn't have the time to do it either.
Yeah.
But he's just
this big heart.
yeah, I mean, yeah, but everything was taking over our house,
Yeah.
like I have everything in my office and then it's trickling down into my basement and my workspace. And like, I have, you don't even know how many shelves I have in my workroom.
Yeah.
So it's just insane. But, the biggest problem for me right now is getting people to pick up their stuff.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he keeps telling me,
Oh,
you
he
need
wants
to
to
charge
get
a
it out.
storage fee. Yeah, he just wants to get it out. But he's like, how do we get it out? Charge
Yeah.
him a storage fee. But I don't know. I can't do that yet.
Yeah, no. So let's talk about your family.
Okay.
How, what's the makeup? I know we talked offline and you reminded me of Ferris or Firas.
Yeah, Firas. He
Firas,
goes by
yeah.
Frank now.
He's a big boy.
I know, right? Yeah, so my brother worked for you guys
Yeah.
back in the day. I don't know,
Best
some
guy,
20,
yeah.
30 years ago. Thank
Yep.
you. Yeah, so I'm married. My
Uh-huh.
husband's name is Raymond.
Okay.
He's actually
Raymond Joseph.
Raymond Joseph.
Okay.
Yeah, the man with 2 first names.
Yep.
He is Lebanese,
Okay.
but I call him a mutt because he's a mixture of everything. We did the Ancestry.com.
Oh, boy.
His list is like 19 things down.
What does he do?
He works in recycling and record storage.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
So yeah, he works with a company out in Fraser.
Awesome.
And then we have 2 boys.
Mm-hmm.
Christian is 8 and Cameron is 6. He'll be 7 soon.
Cool.
And he reminds me every day.
Yeah. right.
Yeah, and then I have a stepdaughter who's 16, and
Okay.
she actually helps me a lot.
Oh, she does? That's
with the
good.
Rosaries. Yeah, she's really good. Yeah, with the Rosaries.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, maybe she can take it on and help you deliver these
I
quicker.
hope so.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. She and I have a really great relationship.
Oh,
so
that's awesome.
yeah, so I hope so.
Cool. And then, so where can they find these pieces or your service?
So they can call me I'm on Instagram as Timeless Memories by MJ.
Timeless Memories by MJ.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I'm also on Facebook as Timeless Memories by MJ.
Okay.
You can call me. My number is 248-224-8878. You can text that number. You can email me at timelessmemoriesbymj@yahoo.com.
That's good. You locked all that same name down everywhere.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thankfully.
Usually people don't get that lucky, right? We had one
luck of the
person
draw,
that named like 15 different handles, and we're like, oh, we keep track of all this.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm pretty quick to respond because I know that sometimes it's, time sensitive.
Right.
But there's always a way to contact me, and I will always get back with you. And even though I have like the 6 to 8 month turnaround time, I always tell people you're always welcome to check in, and I will always be honest with you as to where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something that they need right away anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's the beauty of the service. It's not, they don't need it right.
Exactly. It's not like there's a deadline. You're right. Yeah.
Cool. So, do you want to shout anyone out? You want to plug anyone? Do you want to say hi to mom and dad?
I guess, hello to my family, and thank you for your support, and thanks for dealing with me when I'm super stressed out and, need to finish some projects, and thanks to all of my clients who fully support me and have such nice things to say, and refer other people to me all the time. I'm so grateful. So grateful.
Also, the referrals are proof that you are delivering perfect merchandise and a beautiful piece for someone to preserve their memory. Yeah.
And I try, over time, I keep trying to perfect everything and make it better and better and better and better.
And so remind us again, what could people get preserved or put in a box?
So the preservation is the preservation of flowers is to preserve its shape and color. Yeah. Because like I showed you with those flowers, if you dry them yourself, they're not beautiful anymore. No. You don't want to display that.
They're dried.
Exactly.
They're not preserved.
They're
dry.
Brown.
Yeah, they're brown.
So you can preserve flowers. You can have boxes like this created with your child's first outfit coming home, their hat from the hospital, birth certificate, things like that. Communion season is coming up right now.
Communions are big, yeah.
I also preserve wedding gowns, communion gowns, baptismal gowns. So I'm a vendor.
Wedding gown?
Yeah.
What does that go in?
It goes into a cardboard box that has an acid-free polyester screen. That's in another box that's like a carrying case, and then it actually comes shipped to your doorstep. Okay. So like I said, I'm a vendor for a company who does that out in New York. They've been in business for over 100 years.
Right. Well, it goes hand in hand.
Absolutely.
And it's a service everyone needs if they want to preserve their wedding dress.
Or if they want to sell it. A lot of people want to sell it. And preserving it and cleaning it, the preservation process for the gowns is cleaning and preserving. So
some of these wild-ass brides, gotta get them clean.
Yeah, or when you have a wild guest who spills red wine down the back of your dress. Right. But yeah, so I have the wedding gown preservation. So there's anything you can think of. So if your fiance or your boyfriend proposes to you and you have flowers from the proposal, I can put that in an ornament if you don't want something large. For sure. Or I can make a rosary, that you can carry on your wedding day, or I can make a little shadow box. I also have like 5x7 shadow boxes for something small like that. Daddy-daughter dance. Oh, yeah, you get your daughter a corsage. I can preserve that, put a photo of the two of you guys in there.
Oh, nice.
Baptisms, communions, anything, birthdays.
We talked about funerals.
Yeah, and if you are a sentimental person and you like to keep things, instead of sticking it in that box where you're never going to look at it, why not prominently display it?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Very cool. Was there anything we didn't cover that you want to talk about or share?
No, I think, the only thing I would say is if you have the opportunity to preserve your, flowers, especially from a wedding, a bouquet, you probably want to talk to me about what kinds of flowers preserve the best. Oh. Because there are some flowers that just don't do well.
Why don't you share that? like what flowers do and what flowers don't.
So this is a calla lily.
Okay.
And you can see this one preserved really nicely.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
But it's still yellowish. Like when it was fresh, because a calla lily is more like a plant than a flower, it still has like hints of green or like tints of green in it. So it's going to turn a little bit yellow. But if you look at that one in the center, it's got like a little bit of a brown center.
Yeah.
I try to tell people, you know, if you're going to go and preserve your bouquet, tell your florist you're going to preserve it.
Right.
Because, you know, I don't want to get into that, but sometimes you're not getting fresh flowers.
So that showed up like that because you preserved it. It's not that didn't deteriorate after the fact.
No, because I picked that up and I preserved it that night. So it's not like I'm getting that 2 days later.
Right.
So, you know, if you don't want your flowers to look yellow, don't use calla lilies.
Right.
You know, the stargazer lilies that have a really strong smell, you know what I'm talking about? Those don't preserve well because they're...
What flowers do?
So obviously roses.
Okay,
roses
are
preserve beautifully. This is a white rose. This is a pink rose that has some green in it.
Yeah.
This is a red rose, so you see how it darkens.
Yeah.
It does turn a couple shades darker, but it's not super significant.
Yeah.
And then these are orchids, but I mean, feel how thin that is.
Yeah, those look
you can
fake.
ruin that. It's okay.
So
cool. It's like tissue paper.
Yeah.
You know, it's so thin, but they preserve beautifully. And of course, these are my favorite flowers, peonies. These preserve gorgeous, and I mean, those are in there too.
Oh, yeah,
Pinks and purples. They're beautiful colors.
This one really pops.
Because of the colors. Yeah. Thank you. So I like the whole white rose and white flowers for weddings, but I really think if you go with color, it's so nice. It's beautiful.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna sign off, and before we do, we ask a closing question, and the question is, what does it mean to you to be Chaldean?
Oh my gosh, family.
Yeah.
And you know, I told you my husband is Lebanese, and he grew up in a very Americanized family. I mean, he's probably third or fourth generation, but he has that culture part of him.
Kept it.
Yes, very important.
So did you use Timeless Memories by MJ to preserve his culture?
To preserve his name. Yeah. Well, when we got married, everybody started calling me MJ.
Okay.
And so it just stuck. And so when I was coming up with a business name, you know, I was thinking Timeless Memories, and I'm like, I'll just say by MJ. Yeah.
Beautiful.
It kind of rang well.
Cool. And so family.
Yeah.
And what else?
Family. I think that being Chaldean, really a big part of my life is my faith. You know, so I think that Chaldeans are very strong with their faith.
And this came about because of your faith and you wanting to send your children to
a Catholic school.
Preserve that faith.
Yeah. So that was really important to me. You know, I've had a lot of support from the Chaldean wedding planners.
Yeah.
All the event planners and some of the florists too. So I really believe that, you know, the community really tries to support and uplift each other.
Oh, yeah.
Which is very important, because I feel like if you didn't have that like it's hard to succeed.
Be on the outside.
Yeah, exactly. Not even with Chaldeans. I mean, not all my clients are Chaldean.
Right.
But still, I mean, I will say probably the majority of them are. And then they, you know, refer clients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, thanks for joining us and sharing your beautiful pieces. These are amazing.
Thank you.
Well, we're going to sign off, ladies and gentlemen. Timeless Memories by MJ. Check her out. She's all over social under the same name. Place your orders and preserve your memories. Thanks.